Hello guys, what is up? It is me, Prince of What Ifs, and I'm back with another video. And yes, I know, I didn't post anything for a week. That's really weird because I've told you guys I love to post a lot, but assignments came in the way, so I only have myself to blame for that because I was too lazy to do my work and balance it all out. But I'm here, so let's appreciate this moment. And yeah, let's get right into it. Now, before just like the other all of the other what ifs, I'm gonna review the abilities and the attacks that I gave Deku, or in this case, Ace. So let's go right through them. First one, Fire Bunker. It's a dome of fire that doesn't hurt those inside and it acts as a barrier. Second is Fire Fist. It's exactly what it sounds like. Combustion, we already know what that is, and if you don't, it's like Fire Bunker, but it surrounds you in a barrier while also making like bursts of flames everywhere, like a nuclear explosion, but it contains itself. New one that I thought of is Overdrive. He pushes his flames to the absolute limit because he can now control his temperature more to the point where it turns blue. And he attacks, it's like when he attacks, it's way better, and it lasts only about 20 minutes before he feels like he's just like burning his life force. The others are just hockey, and in armament, he's gotten the highest in that one. Observation is still pretty medium because he can see better, yes, but it doesn't. He can always have it active now, yes, but it does still have its limitations that I will show as the series goes on. He can't detect everything all the time, but he's not, he's vigilant. And obviously Conquers, that's also pretty like medium. Other one is Finger Pistol. Finger Pistol. You've seen Ace use this during the Murray Joie arc or whatever, where he just like shot a bunch of beams of fire. It's basically compressed fire in the shape of lasers, and he just shoots them at you. Next one is Fire God's Domain. I stole this one from Soul Leveling, definitely. So any fire in a 3 mile radius is under his control, and he's free to use it however he wants. This also kind of amplifies observation hockey, but that there's kind of a drawback where it gives him headaches if he uses it too much. Other one is Crimson Blitz. There are so many of these attacks that I made up. I don't blame you if you don't remember them. He creates clones from fire that just gank up on an opponent and they just beat the crap out of an opponent. And the other one is Red Hawk. It's exactly like Luffy's, except it's actually being used by someone who has the Meta no Mi. So it's covered in hockey, armament hockey, and he has also fire bursting from it. And when he punches you, yeah, you're gonna feel that. It's strong enough to penetrate steel. Anyway, let's actually get into the story. So last time I left off, Nezu just came into the watching room and he wanted to get Deku, and he has a serious tone in his voice. Even though Ace wanted to stay and watch everyone else, he had to go because he has no choice, it's the principal. So he enters Nezu's office after walking down the hall, and Nezu sits down with a serious tone, saying, Ace, we were thinking of making you a pro hero soon. Ace then says, What? Isn't that too fast? We haven't even taken the licensing exam yet. Nezu says, Oh, I plan to let you take the provisional license exam, but obviously I'm not gonna make you a hero instantly. You have to earn it. Deku then asks, then does that mean that Sabu and Luffy are also gonna be heroes with me? Nezu replies saying, of course, that there's no way he would, separate the trio. Ace's face just fills up with excitement and he can't help but let a tear fall out of his eyes because his dream is finally coming true. He then wipes away his tears quickly and gets serious again. I'm guessing that's not the only reason why you brought me here. Nezu smiles, saying, Smart, I like you. You're right, it's about your quirk, Ace. Or should I say Izuku Midoriya? Based on the information we got from the investigation of the Midoriya family, you were kicked out because you were deemed quirkless. Ace is shocked to hear about this because lately his past has been coming back to haunt him in more ways than one. I have your quirk documents here and you're quirkless, so care to explain? You wouldn't believe me even if I told you. I can barely believe it myself. Nezu lets him go because he doesn't know what Ace is going on about, and he tells him to tell Luffy and Sabo the news as well. And Ace wasn't afraid. He was just kind of like shocked that this was actually coming back. He thought he forgot about his past, but now he remembers how blessed he is with this power, and now he realizes that more than ever, he needs to get stronger. Luffy says, I can't believe we're gonna get the chance to be heroes already. Sabo says, makes sense, we've been psychics for a while now. The three are really pumped up and can't wait, because especially tomorrow they're facing their teachers, and this puts a grin on their faces. Now before he goes to sleep for the day, Ace wants to talk to Garp about something. He bursts in his office with a serious face, saying, he has to talk. Garp says, hey Shrimp, I understand the talk thing, but why you look so serious? Ace says, tell me everything. I think it's finally time you let me know about Luffy and Sabo's past. Garp sighs as he can't believe that this day has finally come and says, Ace, Luffy is the son of the most powerful villain alive. Ace is completely shocked, but that doesn't change his feelings towards Luffy. However, he does still ask for his backstory, so Garp tells him. A long time ago, a villain named All For One fell in love, but this put his child in trouble. He had to stay as a domineering figure for his underlings and to protect his wife, so he had them both sent away. Soon, All For One met his strongest nemesis, besides All Might who was soon to come, and that was Garp. So after their many battles, Garp was known as a national hero, respected by all, specifically a marine hero, but overall a pretty good hero. But what people didn't know is that he made a deal with All For One and his wife. The deal was that he would watch over Luffy and help him grow. This meant that All For One and his wife would get to watch Luffy grow from the shadows. But soon All For One's wife would die of a disease he couldn't cure, and this drove him mad. That's why he killed Nana Shimura, splattering her blood everywhere as everyone looked in horror that day. It was the day that people didn't like to remember. This made All For One even more spiteful, and he started to steal way more quirks. And now back to the present. Ace is completely bewildered, and to think that such a sad story will never be known by the public is even more sad. Garp says that the reason why his quirks evolve so fast is because he's the son of All For One. Of course, he's not gonna he asked about All For One, but Garp says that he'll find out eventually. And then he says it's natural for Sabo, who got the hang of his quirks since he literally got it like the first day. And before you ask, no, I don't have any info on Sabo. I found him almost dead in the streets at the age of 4. He has severe amnesia. Easton says, wow, okay, let me just take this in. Garp says, I know, right? You're all cattle fuck-ups. He starts laughing as Ace says, seriously? Well, I didn't expect you to be serious even about this. I'm guessing you don't want me to tell them anything, right? Garp then says thanks for understanding. Ace leaves the office as Garp sighed. I'm not gonna be around for much longer. Soon you're gonna need to take my place, Ace. Now, after the written part of the exams, Nezu just told the students that they are switching things up because things are getting more and more dangerous, so they have to make their students as strong as possible. Thus, they will be facing their teachers. Of course, nobody else knew about this. I know it sounds confusing when I say now. Nobody else knew about this except for Ace and the trio. Everybody else thought they were just gonna do like a normal exam type thing, but they already knew because they're psychics, and Garp likes to talk about crap because he's an old man. And they were already expecting this, so they're ready to go. So everyone was still hyped, and they go to their locker room and they're changing. This is when suddenly Hashira steps back in, and the mood completely switches. He has a look of horror and anger all bottled up in one. He was just released from the investigation, but his family was not. He was a student. He had nothing to do with the family. He didn't conspire with them or anything. He was just a kid, so he was let go. Now, the students aren't afraid. They just feel bad, considering how it turns out that his family is really brutal. And some of them, like Kirishima and Sato, tried to, calm him down, and he just walks past them, not saying anything. And he walks up to Ace, and then he starts talking. I know my family, our family, what they did to you, it was wrong, and I know they're total scum. But that's why I'm gonna be better than our parents and ancestors. But don't think Just because you have to deal with a bunch of stuff means that I still don't plan to beat you one day. I'm gonna be number one. This catches Bakugo's attention most of all. Ace smiles while putting on his new hat, saying, I'll always be there when you want to go at it, but don't ever call those people my family again. You're an exception because you're at least, you can be redeemed. Now, all the students go outside, and with a more serious look than ever, it turns out that Hashira and Ace are actually on the same team. And yeah, Luffy and Sabo laugh at him a lot, but they then get jealous when All Might appears with weights on, saying that he's going to be fighting the two. And then Endeavor comes out behind him and says that he will be fighting Sabo and Luffy, so they're more happy now. Everyone is just shocked at this because not only are the four happy like battle junkies right now, but the number one and two look like they were like waiting for this. Now we go to Ace and Hashira entering, but before Ace could say anything, Hashira leaves, not wanting to, wanting to fight an All Might first, and Ace just sighs and starts running after him. He just starts enhancing his speed, covering his legs with armament hockey, and catches up to him. All Might then pops up, surprising Hashira, but not Ace, and he gets blown back, but he catches himself with wind. While he was doing this, Ace got punched by All Might, but the punch just passed right through him, and then he uses Red Hawk to punch him in the chest, which actually hurts a bit. They then start exchanging punches as Hashira then comes in and makes a tornado that surrounds All Might, and Ace backs away. He then says, good idea, but that won't last long. Let me help you out. He then approaches Hashira, who's confused, and then touches his shoulder, passing armament to his attack, making All Might unable to escape because it's canceling his quirk. And then it proceeds to cut him all over, and everyone is watching confused and amazed, especially Aizawa, because this should be nothing to All Might since his punches create wind pressure. And then he notices that the tornado is taking a slightly reddish form, and he sees Ace, who's causing it. He says, what is that kid? Meanwhile, he's thinking of this. Ace and the confused Hashira run out the gate just as the tornado stopped, and everyone sees a bloody-ish All Might barely standing, and he's oozing steam, but then jumps away right away due to him turning back to a Small Might form. Next was Sabo and Luffy against Endeavor, and he was in for a shock because Sabo made some new moves. One of them was called Dragon Claw, which was the same as in the anime. He made he put his fingers in a way that looked like a dragon claw, and enhanced it with hockey, but this time he also reinforced it with this metal quirk. And one called Dragon Charge, where he creates a gigantic, and I mean gigantic, metal dragon covered in hockey that attacks an opponent. It's mostly destructive, but against the number 2 hero, he thought it should be nothing. And also because Luffy in his second gear is like OC, and he just disappears from sight whenever he uses it. So they completely crushed Endeavor. And however, as the tests were going on and the matches were proceeding, Ace noticed that Bakugo was gone, and everyone was too focused on the fight to realize this. And so he followed like his tracks to find him in the locker room, taking his costume off and heading out. He stops Bakugo, who's leaving school grounds, as he says, "Where the hell are you going?" Bakugo responds saying, "Why do you care? Leave me alone, loser." Ace says, if you don't admit certain people are strong." Bakugo cuts him off saying, "Shut up. I don't want to hear that from you. Don't think you can suddenly give me advice." He starts to cry a little bit as Ace says, "I'm not acting like I'm better than you just because of my powers. I'm better than you because I can make rational decisions. But that doesn't say so much about you as a person. Being the best isn't all there is to life, you know." Bakugo drops his bag and says, "Fight me." Ace says, "What? If you don't think you're better than me, then you'll let me have one match against you, because I didn't get to in the sports festival." Ace says, "I can't do that." Bakugo says, "Of course you won't, because you think I'm weak, right?" Ace says nothing as Bakugo picks up his backpack and leaves in silence as he heads home. But on the way, Kurogiri attempts to drag him into a portal. Ace, using observation, feels helplessness coming from Bakugo, who was walking away, and he runs over to see him resisting being taken in by Kurogiri, and he runs faster than ever before, appearing next to the portal and punching it using armament. This cancels out the portal as he pulls out Bakugo and sees Kurogiri leaving, and Kurogiri says, "This isn't over." And then the portal disappears with Kurogiri as well. Ace then looks down at Bakugo and says, "You still wanna leave?" Bakugo grunts in frustration and Ace drags him back to school, staying on guard. He brings him to Aizawa, explaining all that happened, and he was pretty mad. It was then time for him to fight, so he left Bakugo, telling him that he will be punished later. So after the tests are over, the same people pass and the same people fail. As for Bakugo, however, he had to do intense training with Aizawa, who also noticed his frustration, um, so he made the punishment a training session as well, making Bakugo exponentially stronger. Aizawa also let him take the test with Kirishima as they fought All Might. During this fight, both Bakugo and Kirishima pushed themselves, with Kirishima unlocking Unbreakable, while Bakugo showed his determination to surpass everyone, especially Ace, and being Bakugo, and he just went wild. And again, I hate Bakugo, but you can't deny the guy's got skills. They do end up winning because All Might was also a little bit weakened, but again, not by that much, so it was a well-earned victory. After that, Kirishima got to join everyone in shopping for their break, but Bakugo was still training with Aizawa as punishment, and he was enjoying training, so it all worked out in the end. The kids are at the mall acting cheery as usual, and they're ready to go and get something. However, due to the attack on Bakugo, which Aizawa informed them of, yeah, they're definitely not going by themselves or some stupid crap. They're staying in groups just to be safe. Shigaraki does still come in though, using his, his weird ass, creepy ass presence. And I don't know how nobody called that out, but you know what? Anime is anime. And he still tried to go after them, but he gets scared off by Conqueror's Haki and just runs away like a little bitch. So after all this time, it's time for the training camp. Kirishima points out how much buffer Bakugo has gotten, and Bakugo says, "What, don't you ever exercise? Besides, I'm more curious about Deku over there." Ace then says in a scary voice, "Call me that again? You die. Got it?" Bakugo gets scared seeing Ace's face, and because Ace was also slightly leaking Conqueror's Haki, and everyone just felt a chill down their spine, because again, he can't control it that well. Luffy says, "What he just uses Haki. Stop messing with Bakugo." Aizawa just says, what the hell is that?" Sabo says, "It's an ability that enhances your strength and your quirk, but it can also cancel out quirks. Just like yours, Aizawa-sensei." Everyone is amazed at this, and they proceed to ask if they can learn as well. Ace says, "Not just anyone can use Haki. Certain people on this bus have the aptitude for it, especially explosive and powerful quirks. Even Aizawa-sensei, especially Aizawa-sensei, and his quirk isn't even meant for battle, honestly. Some of them are sad, and those like Hashira, Bakugo, like Kirishima, like the big, powerful quirks for fighting, especially for fighting, are just happy as hell. But before they can ask if, they're allowed to teach them this ability, the bus stops and they're rocked back and forth. Aizawa says, "Time to get off." The students get out and start stretching, thinking that they're taking a break, and Uraraka asks, "So, how long are we taking a break for?" Aizawa says, "This isn't a break. This is the destination. The rest is up to you." The Wild Wild Pussycats then come out, introducing themselves like the Ginyu Force and telling everyone their quirks. This is when Kaminari realizes what's about to happen, and so does the trio. Kaminari then says, "Guys, we should run right now. You know what Pixie Bob's quirk is, right?" Everyone realizes what's about to happen, and they start running back to the bus as Pixie Bob just slams her hands down, and everything starts to crumble, and they start to fall. However, this is also when Ace makes fire wings surrounding him, and then it turns into a phoenix made of fire. And he thinks about his defensive move Fire Bunker, so he uses it, keeping him and his brothers inside the fire, and they fly off. Kind of like when Naruto uses his big drama thing. So they fly off at immense speed, just soaring through the skies, and the Wild Wild Pussycats are impressed seeing this, and they're shocked. Tiger asks if that's the kid that's from the sports festival that got number 1. Aizawa then says, "Yeah, Monkey D. Ace, inheriting his name from the national marine hero, Monkey D. Garp. The same goes for his brothers. They're all orphans." It's amazing, isn't it? Rado then says, "Wow, I can't sense weakness from him. He's really quirkless, isn't he? Does anyone know why he's like this? Aizawa then says, nope. This is when Hashira blasts off after the Phoenix. He can't keep up, but he isn't giving up either. Manly then says, I'm guessing that's his biological brother, the one from that disgusting Midoriya family. Aizawa then says, yeah, but I can guarantee that he wants to be a hero as well. At this moment, Bakugo also sees all that's happening and just can't stand it, and this makes him just explode out of there and just matching Hashira's speed. But since it isn't a continuous use of Hashira's, he continuously uses wind to propel himself, so the explosions are a little slow, but again, he isn't giving up. Pretty soon, the trio gets there first, with Bakugo and Hashira arriving a while after racing. All the students' jaws just drop and they are amazed by the abilities that are being showed right now. And that was before they even started getting serious and actually made it to the camp. Aizawa says, didn't expect any less. After 3 hours, the others come out and see the others sparring in hand-to-hand combat. And of course they're going after Ace, who's beating them all up, but again, they refuse to give up. Mera then says, okay, I know quirks are a thing in this world, and it's not that weird to be a strong guy like All Might, but you guys are impossible. What is wrong with you? Don't you ever sit down? Ace says, oh, hey guys, what took you so long? At this point, Aizawa and the Wow Wow Pussycats come out congratulating everybody for arriving, and also introducing Koda, who walks out really mad for some reason. Ace then goes up to him and tries to shake his hand, but Koda says nothing, tries to punch him in the balls. Ace sees this and just flicks his fist back at him with his index finger, and Ace says, that was really rude, kid. Koda gets frustrated and runs away with Mandalay just apologizing for his behavior, and Ace says it's nothing. This is when Pixie Ball comes out, going after all the boys and simping, and they're really creeped out, so Ace uses his Conqueror's Haki, and because he can direct it, it didn't touch the others, but Pixie Ball felt all of that, and she backs off. We go to the students cooking up a storm as the air is just filled with delicious food, and Ace is grilling all the meat, and they're impressed. Uraraka says, wow, you're really good at this. Oh, I used to live in the woods, this is kinda natural. Uraraka laughs at this, thinking that he was joking, and Ace is confused as to why she thinks he's joking. Seriously, after all the things they've seen, why is it so hard for him to, be from the forest? After they make their food, they eat a lot, with the trio devouring everything. While this happened, Koda was leaving to his spot, and Ace of course notices this and goes after him with some food for him in a bento. He reaches the mountain and sees Koda sulking and calls out to him. Koda then turns around, telling him to leave him alone. Ace says, I heard about your parents, This catches Koda's attention. Let me guess, because your parents were killed being heroes, now you don't like heroes. Koda says, shut up, you don't know anything about me. Ace says, Koda, I didn't grow up with parents. I envy the fact that you had such good parents. I was alone for a long time until I actually found a real family, and that took years. You have the privilege of always being surrounded by people who want to help you. Don't take that for granted. Your parents didn't just die so you can mope around hating everyone. You look like a brat. Ace then leaves the food down and then jumps off the cliff, shocking Koda until he sees him rise up, bursting with flames and soaring through the sky. And Koda just says, so cool. Koda then picks up the bento and sits down and starts eating it while he cries a bit. The next day, the students are woken up early by Aizawa, who tells them to hurry up, and after getting out, Aizawa gives the ball to Ace and tells him to throw it. Ace smiles as everyone is ready to see how much stronger he's gotten. Ace uses overdrive, pinpointing all the blue flames to his right arm, and then he flings the ball as hard as possible, and this sends a bit of wind pressure that blows everyone back, and the ball just flies so far that they could no longer see it. Aizawa then showed his pad, which said immeasurable because it went too far for it to be tracked, and everyone is shocked. Aizawa then says, aside from Sabo and Luffy and Ace, I have a feeling none of you will get results that different from the last. Hashira gets mad at this comment and then grabs the ball from Ace, throwing it at full force, but again, compared to his last one, it wasn't that big of a difference. So they all start working hard, and Hashira and Todoroki start trying even more, seeing as Bakugo is getting closer to Ace and Sabo and Luffy by a lot. And Luffy's training consists of punching mountains with his second gear until he gets tired, and he even infuses it with Haki a bit. And he just keeps like punching and like, kicking the air, just doing stuff by himself because his quirk, nobody really knows how to train it, so they're letting him deal with that. Sabo's training consists of fighting with Ace, considering the fact that his quirk is mostly relied on combat, and using it in a big way would just hurt civilians. Now Hashira's training consists of just balancing his wind more and fighting with Tiger, since he's never really needed to work out because he was pampered and just only used his quirk. So he's getting a little bit stronger, he's just getting stronger. And the same training for Todoroki and Bakugo, but they're trying way hard. Imagine what Bakugo was doing when he was like flinging explosions to the air. Imagine like catastrophic level. That's how much. The Class 1B students come to see what's happening and just look at what resembles a battlefield, and nobody is letting up on their training. So after the training, everyone goes to the bathhouse, and this is when Mineta attempts to jump over the wall to see the girls naked. But then he gets kicked back down by Koda, and then Ace catches Mineta. Ace then tells Koda that he did good, and Koda looks away nervously, but he appreciates the comment. But then he sees the girls naked, and this makes him fall, and everyone sees this. Ace then drops Mineta and flies over the wall to catch Koda, just in time as he was about to fall. Ace then looks at the girls and says, "Oh, sorry about Mineta, won't happen again." They thank him and they say it's okay, but this is when Ace notices that he's looking at naked girls and blushes for the first time. Luffy then yells, "Enjoying the view?" Ace then tells him to shut up and brings Koda back to Mandalay. She thanks him and then, in a serious tone, asks, "By the way, what did you do to Koda? I saw you follow him to his spot. What did you say to him? He's actually willing to talk to people now." Ace then says, "I just told him to stop being bratty. I didn't think it would change him this much." Ace then excuses himself, and then Mandalay chuckles at how clueless Ace can be when it comes to kids, and then says seriously, "Thank you for being his hero." Of course she whispered this, so Ace didn't know, but he doesn't need to know. He knows he's awesome. A few weeks pass as everyone gets better, and Ace gets to just teach everyone the basics of Haki, and it mostly relies on willpower. However, none of them have actually been able to actually use any Haki. So one night, they're told that they're going to be doing the test of courage. However, some of them still have to stay with Aizawa, excluding Kirishima this time because he passed with Bakugo's help. He's actually going with Ace. The two head off into the forest, just talking a bit, and everyone is afraid of scaring Ace, so they don't. And when they do, Ace just scares them with Conqueror's Haki. However, after the walking for a while, Ace, using observational Haki, feels Koda's presence. It oozed fear, and he felt like he was still in his hiding spot. He planned to tell Kirishima when out of nowhere, a wave of blue flames came rushing at them, and they got ready to fight. And that's actually where I'm going to leave it off. Like usual, I hope you guys enjoyed this what if, and if you could just smash that subscribe button and smash that like button so we can, just get a little bit higher so I can get closer to my goal of getting 2K. And I looked back at my statistics on like analytics on YouTube Studio. Yeah, some of you aren't subscribed, so if you could just do that for me real quick. I'm back and I'm just ready to get back into it. And I would be lying if I said that I didn't care about the views. If you're doing YouTube at some point, you're gonna have to stop sounding like you're hungry or some shit and just say straight out, I need more subscribers and I need more of you guys to help me out to reach 2K soon. I know we can definitely do it before the end of the year because, I hope we can do it soon. So, just smash the like button. And I'm sorry again that it's been taking so long to make this video, but I'm already gotten the next script. I got 2 scripts already ready for new what ifs, and I'm ready to give them all to you. So don't worry, it's coming soon. And when I say soon, I actually mean it this time. I don't mean 1 month like I did with the What If Naruto had Meliodas' Power series. People did not like that. Anyway, stay safe, do your work. If you just started school or if you haven't been doing anything, just stay safe. And have a good day, man. Take some time for yourself.